Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. In the previous tutorial, what we did was we talked about the associations in which associations in cakephp tables. So we defined that users has one profile, country has many cities, and cities belongs to countries. So we talked about the three different kinds of associations. Though we didn't talk about has and belongs to many, we'll be dealing with the three basic association, that is um, yeah, has one, has many, and belongs to. And now we'll be trying to bake things, and then we'll see how easy it is to have a model views and controllers for a table, and how easy it is to create an application in cake PHP. Now I know we have not yet done any PHP coding, but nobody wants to start coding. We want things to be really fast, and just to have an idea of how easy it is to more create an application cake PHP, we'll start off with baking. So the first thing you have to do is to go to search and type in cmd, and what you have as the command prompt. We hit enter, and then this is a command prompt. Another way of getting the command prompt is to take the run. That is Windows R will give you as a hotkey for run, and then you have the run window popping up, and type in cmd over there, which I've already done, and then hit enter. You have the command window popping up. Okay, command prompt popping up. So now the next thing that you have to keep in mind is the current working directory. Now if you look at this over here, this is the current working directory. Now this is not our application directory, so we need to change this, and we need to move to the application directory. So we use cd command, which is change directory, and then we type in the path to our application directory. So this is going to be c um, for // vamp, and then comes www, and then comes our cake folder, that is cake, and then comes our application folder. So this is going to be our application folder. Then we hit enter. Now if you look, the current directory is the same as our application directory. Now we can start baking things. So in order to bake things, you have to enter the bake command. So the bake command is nothing but cake bake, and you hit enter. Okay. Okay, now we should have something like this: welcome to cake php v2.1.2 console. This means cake php is welcoming us to version 2.1.2 console. And then this is our app folder, and the path to our folder is this. And then it's asking us, this color interactive bake shell, and this it is asking us if we want to create a database configuration, or a model, or a view, or a controller, or a project, or a fixture, or a test case, or we want to quit. Okay, now we want to bake models first, so we'll give m over here and then hit enter. Now the next thing it's going to ask us is okay, now before that it will tell that it's going to bake a model, and the path to the model folder, I mean the path where it will be put as inside WAMP www directory cake app, and then inside that they have a model folder, and inside that we are going to create the model. Okay, now the next thing is, it's asking if we want to select the database. Okay, it's asking us for the database configuration, and the default option is the default table itself. So we hit enter, since we don't have any other table, so we hit enter. Okay, now cake PHP is telling us the possible models based on your controller, based on your current database. So according to a database over here, um, okay, according to our database over here, the cities, countries, profiles, and users, we can have four different kinds of models, right? So it's asking, these are the possible models that we can create. So we have to select the model for a particular table. So first I thought we'll start baking for country. Okay, so he will hit 2, which stands for country, and hit enter. Okay, now it's asking us if we want to supply validation criterion. Now if you go to countries table over here, you can see that this table has a lot of columns, and each column and data are going to be inserted into these columns. So when data are inserted by cakephp, um, if we want to assign a particular validation criterion, we can do it over here. Okay, so yes, we need to have some validations. So I'm going to hit Y and then enter. Then this is what it's going to ask. So it says the first field is an ID and the type is defined as integer. Okay, the first field is an ID and the type is integer. Okay, and it's asking me, okay, these are the set of validations that PHP offer. Which one would you like to prefer, or which one would you like to have? So I am going to say I just want to make sure that this is not empty. So empty stands for some, yeah, this one. So 21 is the number that corresponds to empty, so I'm going to hit 21. Okay, and hit enter. So it's asking me, would you like to add another validation rule? Okay, not for the time, I just want to be, it should not be empty, so I'm gonna hit n and then enter. So it's asking me, okay, now the second field is name, and that the type is string. Okay, now what kind of a validation would you like to do? So again, I don't want this to be empty, so I'm gonna type in 21 again, and I don't want any other validation, so I'm gonna hit n and then enter. And it's asking me, okay, create it. That's a third column. So okay, now if you look at these three columns, it says created, modified, and deleted. Now created, modified, and deleted are the columns which we really don't want to bother about, because whenever cakephp makes an insertion into this particular table, it will automatically populate these three columns, that is created, modified, and deleted. So we don't actually have to bother about these three columns. So we don't want any kind of validations for that. So over here, number 31, it says do not do any validation. So I'm going to hit and 31 and then hit enter. So the next one is going to be modified, and it's going to be daytime, and again I don't want any validations for that. I'm going to hit 31 and enter. Now the last one is deleted, same case, I don't want any validation, so I'm going to hit 31 and enter. And then now the next question is, would you like to define models association? Okay, now cakephp is asking if country is actually having any association with any other tables. So yeah, country is associated with cities, so I'm going to hit yes. Then it will take a moment, and then it will say um, okay, now country seems to be associated with cities, with has many associations. So country has many cities. Yes or no? Yes, it is correct. So I'm going to hit Y and enter. Okay, country has many users. Okay, I'm going to copy. I'm going to go to PHP MyAdmin and open users. Now if I look, I have country ID in user, so it's actually a foreign key from the countries table. So country is associated with users. So I'm going to type in Y, which stands for yes, and then it's asking me, would you like to define some additional model association? Suppose in case if cakephp was not able to detect any association, um, and if you want to specifically do a particular association, then we can do that. For the time being, we don't have anything like that, and I do believe that if you have properly named um, or if you have properly created your table, then you won't actually have you wouldn't need to create this you wouldn't need to use this option, because cakephp is pretty smart about that. It will automatically detect all the associations. So I'm going to hit n because I don't want that. Now okay, now cakephp says the following model will be created. The name of the model will be country. The database table that corresponds to this model will be blog.country. Blog stands for the database name and the country is the table. And then validation is going to be an array, and id is the first column. There's nothing but this column over there, over here in countries table. Id is the first column, and id is the first column, and it says not empty. And name, again, it should not be empty. And associations are country has many city and country has many user. Okay, does it look okay? Cakephp is asking us, so I say yes, it's fine, and I hit enter. then it's saying created file inside the folder cake app model and country.php. So it has actually written a file inside model inside model, that is country.php. If it is asking, would you like to bake a unit test file? Okay, now we, for the time being, we really don't want a unit test file. What is a unit test file? We'll see that soon. And we are going to hit N and then enter. Now again, cakephp's interactive shell will pop up. So we'll make sure that we have the model created. So we'll go to NetBeans, and then this is inside app, inside model, we have this new file which has been created by Cake, and this is the model for country. And if you look at this, yeah, and it has defined set of validations over here, and it has also defined associations, which says has many is the association with city, and has many is the association with users. Okay, yeah. Now the next thing that we want to do is to create a controller. So I'm going to hit C, because C stands for controller, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then it's asking me, would I like to use this default configuration for database? Yes, I want to have the default. Okay, so it's asking me which table I'm trying to create a controller for. So it's going to be for country, so hit type in 2 and then enter. Then it's saying, would you like to build your controller interactively? Yes, I want interactive baking, so I'm gonna hit Y. So if you don't choose interactive, the thing is, if you have files with the names that that are going to be similar to the ones that are to be created with the console, if you don't interactively create that, what happens is that it won't ask you, it will just override the files. So it is always recommended that you go for the interactive baking for controllers. So I'm going to hit Y, and then would you like to use dynamic scaffolding? No, for the time being I don't want dynamic scaffolding. What is dynamic scaffolding? We'll see soon. And then I'm going to hit N, standing which says no. And then it says, it's asked me, would you like to create some basic class like index, add, view, edit? Okay, now I want to have basic class, so I'm going to say yes. Okay, now would you like to create basic class methods for admin routing? Admin routing is something which is really easy and really important. So I'll show you what that exactly is. For the time being, we'll put it as Y, that is yes. Would you like to this controller to use other helpers besides HTML helper and form helper? Okay, now helpers are set of functions, or set of functions basically, which will help you to create things. For example, if you want to create a form, you don't actually write the HTML um, code for form. Instead, you call a function, and that function will um, render the form for you. It's not like you create a form using HTML. You are actually calling a PHP function, and that will give you a form over there. So it's asking if we need to have any other helpers other than the HTML helper, which basically it's for creating input elements like input box, select box, etc. And this one is for form helper, which creates form. Other than these two, basically we don't want any for the basic purposes. So I'm going to hit N, and it's now the thing that they're going to ask is, would you like this controller to use any components? Components are basically like things that are does a specific function. For example, if you want to have a login functionality into your site, you can have a component called auth. And if you want to handle permissions, then you can have a, a, a component called ACL. So basically a component will actually do a particular task for you, for example, permissions, login, things like that. So for the time being, we are not bothered about things like that. So we'll hit N, We don't want to have a model, a component. Would you like to have session flash messages? Okay, session flash messages are things like, if you want to have, say you are trying to enter, add a user or add a country into this table, and for some reason, you just gave, you didn't enter a value into the name, um, into the column, into the input element for the country, and you submitted the form. So by default cakephp should validate that, and since that field is empty, it should not let you insert that value. So and then it should let you inform, and it should inform you that this is the mistake that you have already done. This is the reason for the insertion not happening. So to set that, or to set a particular message, you want what is called as session flash messages. So these messages will actually be saved inside a session, and inside the next reload will that session messages will actually be shown. So that is what session flash messages are all about. So we need to show that, so we are going to hit Y, then enter. Okay. Do you need configuration prefix, like admin in app? Okay. Slash config to use prefix routing. Would you like the prefix route to be, or yeah, it's asking me like, say if I want admin routing, would you like to have an admin prefix? So before going into that, we'll see what exactly admin routing is. So this is one of my site which I'm working on. This is actually for a photographer. So this site has two parts. It has a gallery part over here, and it also has an admin part. So this is the admin side. So if you look at the URL over here, um, this is the actual URL to the site, and this is the URL to the admin site. So photos slash admin will give you a different interface where you can handle everything. So you can add images from here, you can delete images, you can do a lot of things over here, and everything reflects over here. So this is basically admin side, and this is the client side, right? So admin routing is all about this. So cakephp is asking me if I would like to use admin routing in this manner, that is arrow admin, which means if I want, if it's asking me if I want to have this as admin, or if I want to have something like administrator, uh, or if I want to have something like owner. So by default, you know um, by default cakephp will have this as um, it's not on admin slash category. So by default cakephp will have admin over here. So it's asking me that, so I'm going to say yes, I want to have it as admin itself. So I'm not going to enter prefix over here, so I'm going to type enter. Yeah. The following controller will be created. The name of the controller is going to be country. Looks okay? Yes, it looks okay, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now it has already created the countries controller. We'll check that now. Okay, we'll go to the folder inside app, inside controllers. Yes, I do have a countries controller. And if you look into this, you have a lot of functions over here. These have all been done by cakephp console. So yeah, we'll see what all these things stands for soon. Okay, now we don't want a unit test file, so php unit test file is not installed. Do you want to bake unit test files anyway? No, I don't want php unit test files now. Okay, now the next thing that I want to have is views, because I've already created models, I've already created controllers. Now the next thing is view. So I'm going to hit V first, which stands for view, and then hit enter. And then it's asking me, okay, what is the default? Do you want to have the default database configuration? Yes, I want to have the default one. So the next thing that it's going to ask me is, okay, would you like to choose a particular table. Yes, I'm gonna choose countries. So I'm gonna hit 2 and then hit enter. Would you like to bake would you like to bake would you like to bake to build would you like bake to build your views interactively? Yes, I want to have that interactively. So I'm gonna hit Y. Okay, before doing so, you will need to create your controllers and model classes, including associations and models. So it's warning, if you want to create views, you should have a controller and a model for that. Yes, I do already have it, so I'm gonna type in Y and then enter. Would you like to create the views for admin routing? Admin routing views are basically these things, which is totally different from these. So yes, I want to have a view for admin routing also. So I'm gonna hit yes. Then yeah, I've already it has created views for that. So we will make sure that views are actually created. So inside app, inside views, we have another folder called countries, and then we have all the views over here. Now, the next thing that we are going to check is if this is actually working. So I'm going to type in localhost, then slash cake and slash country, and then when I hit okay, it says missing controller. The reason is country is not a controller, it has to be countries. It's always in the plural form, so I'm going to hit enter. Yeah, this is the countries um, listing. So if I want to create a new country, I hit new, and then I'm going to type in India, then I'm going to hit submit. Yeah, so this is about the session flash messages, and I'm going to create a new one. um, I think I told you about the checkboxes, why we just put tiny int over here. So since we actually put tiny int over here, this became a checkbox. So we'll just make a change over there, and we'll make this as instead of tiny int, we are going to put this as text. Okay, I'm going to save this. I'm going to refresh this. See this? This actually got converted into a text area. So I'll just change it back to tiny int. Uh, okay, and then length for the we'll give it as 1, and we'll refresh it back, and we have this thing as deleted as checkbox. So a lot of things are also being fetched from the type you have given over here. So we have the countries form, and then you can enter country, and yeah, and then if you want to edit that, you can view that over here. So you have the countries listing over here. Say if you have now when you create cities, you will have all the related cities, that is the cities that are associated with this country listed over here, and the related users, because countries are related to users, so all the users will also be listed over here. Now the next thing is a view. We have already seen now edit, so I can edit the country over here. So I'm gonna type in India edit. So if you see over here, it has already edited that. So this is it. And cakephp has already created given a created date over here, and then I've modified that. So this is actually different from the created date. So it has changed this, right? So that's it. And if I want to delete it, hit delete, and then okay, yeah, it has deleted that. So we have actually created the country's model and views and controllers. Now we also gave admin routing, so we'll see what that is. So we're going to hit type in slash admin and then go country. Okay, now again I made the same mistake, it's countries. Okay, this is the same thing, this appears to be really the same, but if you look at this, it has an admin path, um, and it has an see, this is going to be the front end of the site. Now we will completely change this appearance, and and this will be actually visible to the client or the users, and the administrator will be using this is not going to change much. You will have a menu over here. Other than that, it's all going to be the same. But this part, this is the actual site, which is the front end of the site, will change a lot. Okay, now yeah, I'll just show you a default um, uh, uh, the back end or the admin side, and this is how the front end will look. So uh, photos slash users. This is actually a users controller, and over here I've given as welcome. Okay, now this is actually the users controller, and inside that I'm calling a method called welcome. And this is again the administrator categories. Yeah, that's it. We'll close that for the time being. Yeah. Now we'll also start baking the rest of that table. So I'm going to type in I want to create models. I'm going to do it for city. So I'm going to hit 1, and then it's going to ask me validation. Yes. So ID. So I get 21. No, I don't want any other validation. So no. Country ID is going to be not empty. So 21. I don't want any other validations. Name 21, not empty. Then created 31, I don't want that to be validated. Modified, no validations. Deleted, no validations. And it's asking me, would you like to define model associations? Yes, I want to. So okay, now it says city belongs to country. Yes, it belongs to country. And city has many users. Yes, city has many users. Would you like to define some additional model associations? No, I don't want. Okay, now it says these are the settings. It looks okay. Yes, it's fine. And then it's saying yes, it has already created the cities model, and unit test file. I don't want that, so I'm going to hit no and then enter. Then the next interactive bake shell pops up. I'm going to type in C for controllers, then 1 for city, and then build your controller interactively. Yes, I want to have interactive bake. So would you like to have dynamic scaffolding? No, I don't want that. Would you like to create some basic class for that is index at view and edit? Yes, I want to have that. Would you like to create admin routing? Yes, I want to have admin routing. Would you like the controller to use any other helpers? No, I don't want. Would you like this controller to use any components? No. Would you like to use session flash messages? Yes. Looks okay. Yes, it's fine. Then it has already created that. I don't want a unit test file. Now the next thing is going to be the views. Um, yeah, it's going to ask me, is it the default database? Um, yes, it's going to be the default database, and I want to have select cities over here, and then I'm going to type in uh, okay, would you like to build your views interactively? Yes. um, so would you like to create some CRUD views like index add view edit for this controller? Note, before doing so you will have to create the controller. It's all the same as the one we did for country. Yes. Would you like to create the views for admin routing? Yes, I don't know. Yeah. So we have already created the cities. So we'll see if cities is working properly. So instead of countries, I'm going to type in cities. Okay, now this is the city. Okay, I'm going to type in a new city. So I'm going to type uh, country. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is going to list all the countries. I'll remove this. Okay. I'm going to type in new country, which is going to be India, and then I'm going to type in a new city. So this is going to be Kochi, which is my city. So if I view details over here, I can see um, this is a country ID. Okay, so if I click on India, this will go to the view for this particular country, and it will list the related cities. So if you see over here, have Cochin, which is related to country. So this is all interlinked, and this will create it for you. Like, this is awesome, right? Within minutes you can do that once you're familiar with this. So the next thing again for model, and I'm going to create this for user. So I'm going to type in 4, and then it's going to ask me if I need validation. Yes. ID is going to be 21, not empty. Name is going to be 21, not empty. Country ID 21, not empty. City ID 21, not empty. Password 21, not empty. Email ID, okay, email ID, I think it already has validations for email ID. Not empty. Money, in list, external email, so I can put it as 11, which will automatically validate for email. So would you like to add another validation rule? I can put 21, it should not be empty also. So yeah, I don't want it to have any other validation. So created, no validations. Modified, no validations. Deleted, no validations. Yes, I want to define association. So users belongs to country. Yes, users belongs to country. Users belongs to city. Yes, users belongs to city. Users has many profile. No, it doesn't have many profile. I'm gonna hit no. Now that is one important thing you have to note. Users has many profile. It is suggesting us if user is having more than one profile. So I'm going to say no, it doesn't have more than one profile. Then it's going to suggest me users has one profile. Yes, it has one profile. So I'm going to type in yes. Would you like to define some additional models? No, I don't want. Okay, it's asking me these are the settings. Am I satisfied with that? Yes, it's fine. I'm gonna hit I don't want to have a unit test file. Okay, now I've created the model. Now the next thing is going to be controller. So C, and then I'm going to hit 4, which corresponds to users. Would you like to build your controller interactively? Yes. Dynamic scaffolding? No. Would you like to create some basic methods? Yes. Would you like to create admin routing? Yes, I want admin routing. Would you like this controller to use other helpers? No, for the time being. No to the components. Would you like this controller to use any components? No, for the time being. Would you like this yeah, to use session flash messages? Yes, I want that. Okay, it says looks okay. Yes. Now the next thing, we don't want to have a unit test file also. Now the last thing is going to be view, and then I'm going to type in the table name is going to be the first table user. Would you like to override user view if accessed? uh, would you like to bake to build your views interactively? Yes. um, and then it says, would you like to create CRUD views? Yes. And would you like to create the views for admin routing? Yes, I would like to do that. So because I want admin routing, and then hit enter. Yes, it has already created that. Now I'll go to users over here, then type in users. Doesn't have any user, so I'm going to type in new user. Then I'm going to type in name Hari. See the beauty of cakephp, it has already populated the country and the city over here. You don't have to do that by code. So I'm going to type in password as, say, something like 1 2 3 4 5 6. It really understands that this is a password, and it has already created that. So it's awesome, right? And I'm going to type in Hari. I'm going to give this a wrong email ID. I mean, this is invalid email ID. I'm going to submit this, and then it is going to give me this error message: user could not be saved, please try again. And then over here it says email ID is not correct. So I'm going to type in gmail.com, and then I'm going to hit enter. Yeah, it hasn't inserted that. So I have an entry into the users table which is having the country ID India, city ID Cochin, and the password is 1 2 3 4 5. It should not be like this actually. It should be MD5 encrypted, which we'll see soon how that can be created. Email ID is over here, created, modified, deleted, and edited. So I'm going to edit that, and then I'm gonna change my name as user underscore one, Hari underscore one. Then I'm gonna hit submit. Okay. Then if you look at this, I have changed my username. Okay. Now if I go to countries over here, and this is a country's listing, and you can see related cities and related users. So yeah, this is kind of really cool thing. And again, you have the admin side for this. So to get that, slash admin slash user, and you have the admin side over here. Okay, it doesn't seems to be different from the earlier one, but once you define the front end, this is going to be different. That is, the front end admin is going to be different, and you can manage everything from the admin side. So admin slash users, you can manage everything from here. So that's it. This was a long tutorial. Hope you learned something from this. If you don't really understand what all of the things that are happening behind this, you don't have to worry about that, because from the next tutorial onwards, we'll be looking into the blog application, which is already present inside book.cakephp.org. So we'll be starting off with the blog application. Now this is all these tutorials were just a basic introduction to cakephp, just to feel that you are doing something um, which is super cool, um, and super easy. That's it. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Have a great day. Bye.